You know, if Michael Keaton gets cast as Batman, no one panics. But if Ben Affleck does, then everyone loses their minds. Let's get nuts.
Hey everybody, how's everything going? Welcome to Custom Toys EC, a series of videos where I'm gonna talk about all the freaking stuff that all we freakies love. Now for this video, I got something from the hype, and it's McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, the Flash movie Michael Keaton's Batman. Here in my country, it's very difficult to find the two versions of these figures. You either get the masked version or the unmasked versions. Not both. And in really special cases, you can find them in the same toy store. But again, I don't like McFarlane's system of giving us two figures for the same character and not putting the unmasked head sculpt with the masked version. To me, it's like they are really trying to just sell and not caring about the fans or the buyer. But in the world, the more profit you can get, it's better, right? I don't know. I don't agree with that. At least I was lucky to get this figure. The case of Battinson was really weird because I only could get the unmasked version before and after the masked version. So well. Speaking about this figure, Michael Keaton is my all-time favorite Batman version, although when Christian Bale appeared, he became my favorite. And then when Pattinson appeared, he became my favorite. And it's not a matter of hype, it's a matter of portraying the Dark Knight in a really convincing way. But Tim Burton's Batman movie was the one I grew up with, and for that, Michael Keaton will always be the Batman I wanted to be in the 90s. Now, this is the same fabric as my sport t-shirt. It's really translucent. Can you see the blister through? It's crazy. You know what it means. I'm going to change it. Now, when they announced Michael Keaton as Batman for the Flash movie, I was really excited. And if you consider the idea of a multiverse having several different versions of the same character, it's plausible. And the design for the suit resembles the classic portrayal, and at the same time it has some new stuff that can give you like a fresh look. This is really hard to take out. Oh, he only comes with a pair of fists, the batarang, and the grappling gun. I don't know if they are accurately painted, but we'll see later. The figure itself looks okay. It's the first time that I see the proportions are good enough, but they are not perfect. The legs are still too long. The torso and the arms are perfect with the size of the head, but the legs will be shortened for sure. He has a dorky face. The eyes are not well painted. The right one, it's a little bit off to the center, and he looks like he has some eyesight problem. And the only thing that I hate about this figure are his antennas. I know they're bat ears, but they're round on the tips. What is this, Todd? This is ridiculous. What is going on? The bat ears are always pointy. This is crazy. The division of the neck is well enough as well. I know this Batman doesn't have a neck division, but it works well enough. Now they painted a dry brush simulating dirt on his boots, but I don't like it. It's like green. I'm gonna take it off. I don't really like that he's so shiny. There are some parts that are matte finish and they contrast really well, but I'm going to lower the gloss of the shiny parts. So to sum up, I'm going to change the antennas, the eyes, the shine, and obviously draw the division of the face and the mask a little bit better because there's some bleeding of the skin tone to the mask. And finally, I'm going to complete the belt painting the silver parts that he has on the movie. And the cape, I see that it has a really cool size and shape, but the material is really cheap. So I'm going to bring a fabric that is not translucent and higher quality. And those are going to be the changes for this figure. And I also think I'm going to tie the articulations up because he's really loose on the shoulders. So let's start. Now, let's disassemble the figure first. I already took the cape out along with the neck piece. I had to do this really carefully, heating it up with the hair dryer because it was on the verge of destroying itself. And as you can see, here on the ankles, the articulation part is now inside of the cuff part. That is going to help him to look a bit more proportionate. The good thing is that they can articulate properly, and the process was as follows. I took this soldering iron and melted the plastic inside. And while that plastic was still hot, I took the articulation piece along with the foot and stick it in. Just waited a couple of minutes until it was cold enough and the heated plastic takes the shape of the articulation part. That's it. It's really simple and that prevents gluing different plastic scraps. This is an upgrade of my older process that was exactly gluing shapes and scraps of plastics as well. The point is getting better every time in the processes, right? It's a good trick that you can replicate at home. And as I told you, the proportions were good enough, but not perfect. He had around 10 heads of height, and that was terrible, so now he has only 9 with all this fixing process. At least I shortened him around 1 centimeter. It's unbelievable. I've heard some complaints regarding McFarlane toys. They are supposed to be artists, and that company is supposed to be run by an artist, so what is wrong with the proportions? The hip joint is also lower than it was before, and I did the exact same thing as the ankle. I heated the leg with a hair dryer, I took out the articulation piece, and brought the soldering iron again. Heated the socket downwards and outwards so the plastic melts, and then I put the articulation part again. That way the hips can go upward a little bit. So joining half the centimeter I took out from the ankles, it gives him the perfect proportion. Although I would love to have a bigger head for him. It's really small. If you notice, I even measured it with Battinson's head, and that one is a lot bigger than this one. And I even complained about that head being a bit small at the time, so I don't know. They're in a way like getting back, proportion-wise. And something I really hate about this is inconsistency. Having some figures with their own features and others with different features. Look, they don't even glue these pieces. I haven't modified this. And the diaper, it's separated from the articulation piece. I understand recycling pieces, but not to this point. They should at least sculpt the pieces accurately to the articulations. So maybe I should heat this piece with my hair dryer and I could get it up. Probably I would make the leg look longer again, so I'll see after. Let's continue on tightening the articulations, and it's the same process as always. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Remember the rule of 10. You put the super glue inside the joint, always count to 10, and move it a lot. Otherwise, you will glue it forever. I noticed this diaper piece can't go any further because the socket is not well sculpted. So I'll take a bit of these edges out so they can enter properly. Now I'm taking this awful paint out with thinner. And also, this is going to make that glossy finish a bit more satin instead. That is going to give him that rubber look that he had on the classic movie. What do you think about this finish? They look way better. There are some scratches on the plastic. I can also polish the pieces with my old toothbrush, so we can give them a natural shine instead of being so glossy. Now, it's time to make these parts pointy. So we're cutting the antennas out. Be really careful when doing this. After cutting the edge, we sand it a little bit and voila! Also, the fins of the gauntlets. Look at the difference. The left one is fixed and the right one is still looking like a kid's toy. Even Todd McFarlane says he's focused only in collectibles. I know they're called McFarlane toys, but they are meant for adult people who collect. So why are they still treating these things like kids' toys? Japanese companies don't care about that. I've seen their Batman figures are really pointy. They even give you a warning sign in the instruction manual. So that should be enough, don't you agree? Even the edges for the cowl were really round. What do you think now? I also sanded the shoulder pieces, that they go inside because there was a lot of difference in the same plastic. Now I am painting this underwear piece with matte black. As you can see, there's a blue piece of plastic inside, and it's because I tried to make it up a little bit, remember? And as I told you, I was afraid I was going to change the proportions again. So I had to take it out. There was a huge gap. I filled it that I had to fill with that piece. Ingenious. Now let's fix the eyes. The left one looks a bit bigger than the other, so I'm drawing it again, as well as the mask. Now the edges are painted. The eyes are fixed. They look to the front and they are no longer radioactive blue. They look more natural. Michael Keaton doesn't have black nor brown eyes. He's got dark green eyes. Even the cowl and the black makeup, well, they obviously look darker. So I did a black background and just a slight sparkle of green. They look really natural. The last thing left for this process would be painting the bat symbol and the silver details for the belt, so let's get to it. If you noticed, it's a different type of yellow, just like the movie. Drawing the bat symbol again. Jeez, this part is hard. And now the silver parts. I don't know if these are silver, but I love them like this. Now I'm adding a gunmetal effect for the smaller parts. Finally, let's build him up again. Before we put on the cape, let's take a look at this guy. The proportions are perfect. And speaking about the cape, the shape looks strangely similar to Christian Bale's Batman symbol. The cape has exactly the same pattern as the others that I've made. I only cut round parts on the edge. And here it is. As you can see, I only extended the upper part so I can open it widely. I hate translucent fabrics. This one is thicker. Now, opening the cape, you can see some magnets that I put, and they are meant for closing the cape naturally and automatically. The edges are also sewed so I can get a wire inside whenever I want to pose the cape. That way, with the magnets, he can have his cape loose and also a bit straight and rigid when we want to pose him just standing there. Now tell me, what do you think about this custom? Did you like it? What about the Flash movie? I really enjoyed it, as I said on the last video. And having this figure in hand makes me really happy. More so with all the fixings that make him look way better than he goes out from the factory. And if you like this custom, please like, subscribe, recommend this content to all your friends, and please leave a comment on what you think. And if you have any suggestions for future videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.